The fall gaming season is definitely ramping up because we're here with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. As usual, it's me, your guide, Jake Baldino, and today we're talking about Forza Horizon 4. Now, I've become a big fan of the Forza games over the last few years, but it's really these off-season Horizon ones that I like best. Horizon 4 here is definitely no exception, really. I mean, it finds that perfect blend again between sim and arcade racer and amps up the fun factor, so it doesn't feel as stuffy as Gran Turismo or the mainline Forza games. While the racing, honestly, at this point is still just racing and you can't really change it that much, there are a couple of things the game has done that I think are truly game-changing, but I'll get to that. Now, it's another Forza Horizon game, so it's another game centered loosely around a racing festival. This time it takes place in the English countryside that also has elements of Wales and Scotland in it. The map is impressively large and surprisingly varied, and it's designed to essentially be a racing playground for however you really want to race, like off-road truck racing, dirty rally races, street races with muscle cars, tuner cars, high-end sports cars on straightaways, and really everything in between. Presentation-wise, it also feels a little less cringy this time around, which I appreciated. It eases up on the whole, get famous on social media thing that a lot of other racing games have pushed the last few years, and it goes for a more slicker and more customizable presentation and just general focus. You make your driver at the start, and there are tons of customizable items to unlock to make them look less of like a total loser. There are these awkward cutscenes with your character that don't look so hot, but thankfully they are really few and far between. The cool character is really just cosmetic online social stuff, but thankfully also I didn't come across any offensive microtransactions, at least in my pre-release version of the game. That may change. There's also, of course, a garage store filled with hundreds of cars to unlock and then pour over every single detail and customize stuff. There are tons of weird, funky cars that you might want to experiment with. I really appreciated that and got quite a few hours of play just out of testing some more unconventional cars and trucks. And even work vans. I don't know why they have them, but hey, I appreciate it. Aside from earning currency and unlocking and leveling up car perks, progression is purely through maxing out different race types. I really enjoyed that, and it can get especially interesting because the game is so freedom-centric that you can almost use any car in any standard race. But I really like earning and dumping skill points into trees. For a racing game, it was surprisingly addicting for me. The non-standard races, too, are once again nice little fun highlights as Horizon 3 had. Showcase races are extremely linear, but fun to look at and warrant replaying just because they're so over the top. And these Stuntman races are really cool. There's a whole quest line where you do increasingly insane stunts for a movie director. Oh, and not to mention, the game features a whole bunch of highly specific James Bond cars from the movie series' history. As a Bond fan, I really, really approve of this. Surprisingly enough, some of them aren't really very fast, but I think it's really just about having them. And if you're a Halo fan, you can drive the Warthog, and there's even a voiced race featuring Cortana and the Halo music. It's a really, really nice little touch and just shows the game's overall commitment to fun shit. The biggest thing, and I know it sounds like a back-of-the-box feature, but it's the season system. It really is impressive, and I think even if you're not a racing game fan, it's worth experiencing if you just appreciate good game design. The entire open world has 4 varieties of seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. And each of them completely change the look and driving feel of the whole world. Like, suddenly lakes will just become frozen and become drivable. Wet leaves in the fall can cause your car to slip more. Hot summer days give you, more of a standard racing experience. You get the gist. It's incredibly awesome that they essentially designed the open world 4 times because seasons manage to feel unique and the game feels that much bigger for it. I think it really gives the game a lot of value right there. You have to play for a few hours and linearly progress through the seasons to experience it all, and then after that the game opens up and embraces the whole shared world thing if you want to drive with friends or randoms, and then the seasons are going to change every 7 days to freshen the online experience. I'm not super crazy about that. It's really like a minor personal complaint. It's totally preference. You see all the seasons quite a bit, and really there is no bad season to drive through. For me, the music left a little bit to be desired, except for some Tribe Called Quest, which I really appreciated, man. Visually, though, the game looks damn incredible. If you have an Xbox One X and you were spoiled with Forza 7's 4K 60 FPS, I have some iffy news. In Horizon 4, you have to choose between higher resolution and rock-solid 30 FPS, or 1080p 60 FPS. I think this is because of the large open world. It makes sense that there's a trade-off. It's a console thing, whatever. Plus, there's a lot going on with you being on a server with up to 72 other real-life drivers and all. I get it. Haven't played on my PC yet, but I do have higher hopes. Still, really, the game looks really incredible. It's highly detailed, and the lighting on cars is impressive. The game really blew me away. And I'll say it again, as I kind of often do, HDR makes a hell of a difference. So if you can, go for it. Really, Forza Horizon 4 is more Forza Horizon, and that's a good thing because it's, you know, some of the best stuff from the series. It just does just enough things to shake up the formula a little bit, and it's just a new, awesome driving playground, whether you play alone or with friends. It's perfect to mess around in, and again, I love the seasons. I'm glad they innovated there. The game embraces freedom and creativity unlike any other recent racers, and that right there might be a good selling point for some of you. I really love racing games, and Forza Horizon 4 scratches the itch big time for me. I don't know, that's all I really got for you. This one is pretty straightforward. But I want to hear from you guys, because a Before You Buy is really my pros, cons, and personal opinions, and now I definitely want to hear yours. Maybe you jumped into the game with the early access pre-order thing, or you're waiting for it, or you're just not going to play it. Whoever you are, I want to hear what you think about this game down in the comments. If you are playing early, or if you've just been pouring it over, what's your favorite car? Also, since we're talking about Bond cars, what's your favorite Bond car? Let's talk about anything Forza Horizon 4 down in the comments. I'll be down there talking to you guys as much as possible. But of course, if you got anything else for me, hit me up on social media at Jake Baldino. But as always, clicking the like button helps us out. If you learned a thing or two, we really appreciate it. And if you're new, you should consider subscribing and clicking that notification bell because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.